The recording didn't start. There we go. Now we're good.
Chad Blake,
Present.
Lindsay Washmuth. Here. Roger Faust.
Here.
Christy Workman. Here.
All right. At this time, we will do our standard public comments and concerns. Anyone that has anything that's not on the agenda, please stand by the poll over there, state your name and any comment that you have. And speak up.
Alicia West, and I will do my very best to speak up. I'm not a loud talker, so. I just would like to go through the list of the members that are here and ask from each one of you what you expect or what you would like to see from our community as far as involvement goes. As a member on this board, what would you like to see from our community as far as involvement goes?
When you say involvement, give me
Being
example.
present at meetings, being assisting in public events, anything.
Anything anyone's willing to do to help better the town, whether that be on a council, be on a committee such as the Lapel Community Association or anything like that, anything anybody wants or is willing to do that helps move Lapel forward in some way, in a positive light. That's my thing. You know, there's plenty of organizations in town where it will be the Lions or even through churches. Anything anybody wants to do to support. We live in a time when everybody has a lot of what's in it for me, and volunteerism is very low. You know, the lack of want to volunteer is what lost us our fire department after 100 years. So just anything anybody wants to do, you know, that's do something and as much as you can.
I would or along those lines, I think, and not that we can't take negative criticism, but constructive criticism on things that we can improve when there are committees we have for now of course I can't think of the name of it, but when we're trying to figure out what we want to do with planning and steering committees, thank you. With those, like giving opinions, like you can email the town, things like that, ideas. There was one meeting, I think before Matt Wood was even on anything, where he spoke up about a certain type of concrete that we were up here and we had no idea about. So things like that, like giving feedback, or if you're an expert in one area, and we need something like that, giving opinions on that, and definitely on boards, and like LCA has, and they've commented this, that they're aging out of being on the LCA, and we need a lot of younger people to care and start some stuff. So that I would like to see that.
Are you done? Sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't want to cut you off.
Sometimes you probably need to.
I mean, I want to see more like, we've been going through this with the park board, is just community involvement of beautifying, you know, weed care or something like that, you know. Still community involvement, still volunteering, but I think we need to, and we've started to on the park side of it, getting it more drilled down.
Exciting.
But that's what I want to see. I mean, beautify the area. But that's my world, so that's where I come from, the park side of things, so.
My turn.
It's all you, Christy.
First, I would like to see our community adopt, and our council adopt a posture of expecting good things for this town, for our future, from the people who are willing to step up and lead. That doesn't mean not holding us accountable. I think I absolutely want you to hold us accountable. But just understanding that, assuming good intent, assuming that the people, whether it's the person on the board or the person on the council, or even the person sitting in, that's the poll worker, or the person sitting next to you at Smoky's having a beer, has good intent, right? I'd like to see an environment where the public feels so certain that we care, that they're willing to bring their concerns to us. Whether that's in a meeting or in some other mechanism that we provide, like a portal, an email, and that we respond to that and we take that seriously. And I would like the public to engage us and tell us what they want from their town. Because ultimately, it's my opinion that we work for them. We represent their interest.
I appreciate all of that. Unfortunately, Gary's not here, so I can't get his perspective, but I'm gonna try and find him in town to get his perspective on that. With that being said, I had no idea that this meeting was here until 1 o'clock today. Yes, you guys posted in the town hall with your requirements of 48 hours. You all know that I try to be involved and I try to be positive and I try to be proactive. How many months have I said, let's be proactive instead of reactive? I had no idea what was on the agenda tonight. I had no way to educate myself. That way I could come to this meeting and ask educated questions. I talked to 3 of you before this shift took place, before Brian left. And 3 of you promised me that there would be transparency. I don't like coming to these things showing up looking like a fool. I want to be an educated, well-respected member of this community. And if there's not enough notice for our public to be involved, thank God more than myself and sometimes Christy shows up, then how are people going to be involved? How are you going to get people to sign up for these committees and email and talk to you about their concerns? It's not fair to our office people to have calls day in and day out whenever if they need to come talk to you, to the town council about their concerns, then she has to stop her line of work that she's supposed to be doing clerical work. It's not right. You guys are better than that.
There was a communication breakdown this week that resulted in the agenda not getting posted till today, and I promise that won't happen again.
I appreciate that.
Can I speak to that, Jed?
Sure.
Okay. Today's my 90th day on the council. This is the 6th meeting that I've been at. So for the 6th time, I am going to request that before we leave this meeting, we schedule a workshop to discuss communication.
That was going to be my next.
Quite frankly, what happens is we come to these meetings and we say things like, we have good intent. We're trying to be open and transparent. And then we have a meeting that nobody knows about. And I get it. I get it. Mistakes happen. I understand that. But mistakes shouldn't happen in a way that it inconveniences the public or that it looks like we're trying to do something underhanded. And I have been asking, because communication has been a nonstop problem the entire time that I've been here. Any information I've wanted, I have had to hunt down, set up meetings. I seriously came here tonight, was shaking when I got in the car because I was so frustrated. And number one, it's because we do not have a good system of communication. And then the second piece of this, because this was something I was already going to ask about, William, can you please confirm for me that every single member of this council is entitled to the same information?
There are some issues that come before the town that is executive members first and then through the town council, but.
First, but not only.
Of course. Yeah.
So therefore, how long should a reasonable person expect to wait before the executive disseminates the information to the other people entitled to know?
I'm not sure there's a legal answer to that question. It's got to be case by case. Some things take longer to work out. Some things are immediate. I don't know. I can speak legally or lawfully.
Well, given the fact that my understanding is that no member of this council, other than presidential appointments, has the right to take any action without the vote of the rest of the council. I would think it shouldn't take long. So that's my statement on that. I'm deeply disappointed with the lack of communication that has happened. I sent an email asking for an update on something, and I basically got told, when you need to know, you will know. Guess what? I needed to know when I sent the email. And if the directive was given by anyone at this table to withhold information from anyone at this table, I'm gonna tell you right now, I am the council member that will spend my money for an attorney to make sure that game stops. This has to improve. So I'm asking for the 6th time, before we leave tonight, please let us set the meeting for the workshop this month.
I was just gonna also ask, because I've had a couple of town members reach out to me feeling like their voices are not heard. So again, I will gladly walk the streets of Lapel. I will tape flyers to the doors like we've done in the past. Can we please get something together? Because one of the people that I spoke with today had no idea, even though there's a 500-foot water tower out there, that had no idea that it had been painted or cleaned, had no idea that you guys had cleaned the wells, had no idea that the reserve tank at the water place had been cleaned. A lot of people don't know. So please, can we get a flyer together, update people on the sewer project and the water project and how we're, trying to go after grants to improve these things. People don't know because they feel like they're not heard. So people have tuned out. They don't care anymore. What will be, will be. They say they've gone to town hall, and because they're quote unquote not in the in crowd, nobody will hear them. Which I take that with a grain of salt, because whenever you come in defensive, then of course you walk out that way. But if we as a town could be proactive, get a flyer together, communication, send out, not every month, maybe every 3 months, every quarter. This is the big happenings. We got a big thing going on with the park. We've got some exciting things coming up that we're trying to deal with invasive species. There's a gentleman that stepped forward that's tried to work on Woodward Park and gather people to help with that. We need communication because people have lost trust in this town for several different reasons. And people have tuned a lot out for several different reasons. We need to build the morale, build the excitement, get people involved. We've got the anniversary coming up in July. We need to build on that as a town. Like it has been mentioned, our elders are elderling out, and they deserve that. So we need to find a way. The police department, I cannot give a shout out to Frankton Police Department so much because their social media is absolutely hilarious. Are these guys, no offense y'all, are these guys getting on social media to see what the Frankton Police Department's doing? No, they're not. It's the younger generation. We need to reach the younger generation. They don't read. I'm offended. I'm sorry. But we need to drive that because people, younger kids, 20s, are not reading letters that come in the mail. They're on social media. We need to drive the social media aspect. And we say that, yeah, we're going to do these things, but we can't get out of our own way and get it actually accomplished. And for everybody to look at that lady right there and expect her to do absolutely everything is unnecessary. We have other members in this town that could help out just like she can. Lisa, Diane, whoever. The liaisons, we need to get it figured out because people are walking away. And I hate to see this because we've got an excellent thing going in parks. And it's not, I don't want to see it slip. So if we need a steering committee, a town hall, whatever you want to call it, a workshop, have food trucks out here, get people involved to come in and talk about their concerns. Well, however I can help, I will help, but we've got to get out of our own way and we've got to follow through with stuff. And we've got to start posting meetings.
Anyone else in the public? Okay, we will move on. We have no presentations tonight. First item in new business, this is technically old business, is the Vermeer payment. Do we have an actual, we just have the invoice for it? All right.
It's the one that Christie's husband works there, so she has preferred not to vote on it, so.
And we have not had enough members to approve without her.
So what I plan on, if you guys will pass for me to go ahead and pay it now, it'll go on the docket for our regular meeting.
Is this, so this final page here, that's the current total, $240.75,
What's the current page there?
233,
Yeah,
73.
the final one's the 240, yeah.
Okay. All right, pass this down for everybody to look at.
And they were very understanding. I did talk to a girl, I think the next day she happened to call me to find out, and I explained it to her, and she was like, oh, okay. And I said, as soon as we get our special meeting, then we'll get it paid.
I told them to tell them that it's my fault. That we were even having a special meeting.
It was my fault to hear myself.
I don't,
Okay, just want to check.
I heard about it when it happened.
I figured.
All right, I would entertain a motion to approve the Vermeer Midwest invoice for $240.75.
I'll make it.
Second,
Chad,
Yes.
Lindsay,
yes.
Roger.
Yes.
Christie.
I see.
Very good. All right, next item. Professional service agreement for McFarland. So what this is a McFarland PR and Public Affairs. They are the state authorized vendor for PR, basically. They have the QPA quantity purchase agreement with the state. And anytime that someone has a QPA, every entity in the state can get the exact same pricing as the state. As we've figured out in recent months, there are times where having someone on call to be able to take care of some things for us, to make sure that the messaging gets out correctly and timely, would be necessary. So what this proposal is the just a breakdown of what their rates are and an recommended annual amount. And that is, it's $135 an hour. They recommend not to exceed amount of $5,000, and it is billed monthly as needed. So, any questions from the council?
This is gonna be ad hoc to handle media inquiries, right?
Correct. Whether it's, when we go to do the press release, when the gas department sells, we would call them, say, hey, we need the whole hoopla, for lack of a better term, or if there's a major event or anything like that.
I just don't wanna see this turn into a crutch where the people that we represent are people that are our neighbors and our friends, and we can have conversations with them, and we shouldn't hand off those conversations to this kind of a firm.
No,
Even when
this
they're
is,
hard conversations,
this is for big newsworthy items, ultimately would be
like
my
major
opinion.
media stuff.
Major media stuff.
This is not for.
It's like, hey, we're putting a new swing set in.
No, that's not what I mean.
No, this isn't for the
"Hey,
stuff
I didn't
that
host a
Alicia
meeting
brought
and
up.
everybody's pissed off, and I'm not gonna admit that I made a mistake, so let me get the PR firm.
Yeah, cover my butt for me. Here we go.
Yeah, no,
I know what you're
that,
No, that's some of the big stuff that.
fair enough.
Yep.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear on that, because We
No,
gotta-
they're not making our Facebook posts.
We just gotta get better at just communicating.
Yeah.
You know, just trusting the public.
I think this is more for, like you said, the big things where you're gonna have a lot more
Yeah,
eyes
like
on
the
it.
star and all that, so
Yeah.
we don't have to fall up on it.
Yep.
I get you. Okay.
All right, any other questions? All right, I would entertain a motion to accept the engagement with McFarland PR and Public Affairs for an annual amount not to exceed $5,000.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Chad,
Yes.
Lindsay,
Yes.
Roger,
Yes.
Christie.
yes.
All right, next, we have been contacted by the Lapel Fireworks Association. Last year, we made a donation to the fireworks show, and they have reached out and asked if we can do that again. Ms. Teresa, do you remember what we gave to that last year?
I think it's
3.
For the
Three-
finale.
3,000 for the finale?
Yeah.
Would we be amicable to do the same thing again this year?
We got the money for it.
I don't have a problem with it.
All right.
What does that come out of?
Our, utilities,
Oh,
like last year it came gas, water, sewer. And they end up, when they have money left over, it ends up going back to the police department and the fire department too at times, so.
very nice.
So I'll make the motion to, do the finale, oh, well, I don't know what it's called this year, do the $3,000 donation for fireworks.
I'll second.
Chad,
Yes.
Lindsay,
Yes.
Roger,
Yes.
Christie.
Yes.
All right. And then next, so this one is for discussion. So we have Dan Plumley is one of our citizens. He was on the BZA, recently resigned from the BZA so that he could join Parks and the Redevelopment Commission. Dan is one of those great people like Alicia's referring to, the person that wants to step up and do the things and do the communication and do all of that. So Dan has also asked if he could also be on the planning commission since we have an opening. Reason for discussion. One, my opinion is he would be a great fit for the board. So the question or concern becomes, are we putting too many baskets with this person's eggs? You know what I mean? He wants to do it. We are struggling with people, clamoring to the front of the line to be able to help with things. So, there is nothing legally to prevent him from joining a third commission for the town. He actually, through his work on the other two, qualifies to be our town representative, non-council member on the commission. So it does fill that need. We have struggled finding any current town employees to fill that position. But again, great person, lots of knowledge, a lot of fire to do the things. So before we would appoint him, I just want to make sure we had a discussion, see if anybody else had any concerns before we vote to approve him onto that board.
How many of those 2 vacant positions must be filled by employees?
So one, correct? Or is it?
I believe it was both of them have to be filled by the employee position or
Okay.
a member of the town, which, like you already said, since he's on those other boards, he is one
He
of them.
does qualify for that.
So Jenny had made a really interesting proposal, and it's related to this. I'd like to bring it up if it's okay. She proposed that, sorry. Dan's background is IT and application development specifically, and she proposed Dan, and if I understand correctly, he was excited to volunteer for the opportunity.
He came forward with the concept.
Yeah, to create a newsletter portal where it would be an electronic newsletter to do what we've always talked about doing, but really had struggled to have the bandwidth and the expense of it and so on to do. And I think it's a great idea. And there's probably tons of other ways that he could help to make things more efficient, just with products and IT and all this. But in my opinion and experience, that should not be a volunteer position, because what happens is none of us is, well, maybe you are, but none of the rest of us is so especially IT savvy, that if we become dependent on a product that he creates, we can't maintain it without him, and if it breaks, we're stuck with a process we can't use. So I think that we should consider actually creating and hiring Dan, if he would be interested as a contract worker, to do that and to review the other processes to see if he can streamline things, maybe make some things easier for Teresa, maybe take some weight off the office staff, whatever. But I think that we need to pay him and actually make him an employee if we do that, whether it's through contract or whether it's as a part-time employee or full-time, however you want to do it. I think we should at least talk about it.
Would contract employee count as an employee for the?
Yeah, he's already
Just a
got the
representative.
designation of,
Yeah,
like he falls under that classification already, so I mean, can't be triply employed, which he would already be considering he's on so many boards.
Fair.
so I think the process that we would have to do is, so there's two approaches. So there's contract employee,
Okay.
where we'd have to have legal draft the contract.
Okay.
And, that would give us the stipulations of being able to say, if you develop this for us, we own it. So there's that
Right.
approach from it that makes it a little more, better friendly for the future of the town.
Mhm.
The opposite side of that would be, do we create an IT administrative assistant, position? It would have to be added to the salary ordinance, would have to go through all of that. So whichever way we think is better, I'm not against it, especially for somebody with the knowledge, and if Chad's brain doesn't have to do it, even more better.
Well, we're spending a bunch of money now on maintaining a website that's not really serving us well. And my understanding is that eventually the state is going to complete whatever process they're doing, and they're gonna open the .gov website up, and we will need to build that out, right?
So that is 100% waiting on us.
Okay, so considering what we're spending and how it's not serving us, this is another place that we could really use somebody like Dan.
Start a tarantula.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a tarantula. I couldn't see it, so it could have been too big.
But we could use somebody like Dan
Right.
for something that's really needed,
If you and Jenny
Okay,
could come up with kind of a scope and get that to William, that way we could look at it and consider that. Doesn't mean we couldn't still appoint him to this position.
right.
But that, it becomes a separate thing from the request here, but I don't disagree with the logic.
It also becomes a question of bandwidth, because let's be honest, how much can we ask this guy to do? I'm assuming we still have some other means of making money, and
And that's where we'd have to sit down, and have a
Right.
discussion with him. How much time does he think it would take? Those kind of
how much
things.
time can you give us? I mean, maybe something's better than what we have available right now. And then the other piece that I do want to mention, the Parks meeting. So Dan was at the Parks meeting, Roger was there. The energy in that Parks meeting was phenomenal. It was the single most positive meeting I have been at in 5 years. Everybody there was excited. Dan really contributed to and magnified that energy. And that's exactly what we need. We need people like that who have a faith that not only can things be better, but that also have the energy to drive that and keep that energy when it takes a while to prove it to the public that we are doing good things and we're capable of doing good things. So I really, really, really would hate to see Dan step away from parks. But yes, I'm not in the least opposed to planning. I think he would be a good asset on planning too.
Well, and that's the thing, he can be on all.
I know.
So it's just
I think
the,
she's worried about him not having the bandwidth of the time, and then you add
Gotcha.
on the IT.
That's
If we
what I'm
do.
worried about. Like, at what point, what's his,
We don't want him to fizzle out.
yes, I wanna burn him out.
don't want the rocket.
What does Dan really want to do?
Right.
And these are the opportunities, the sky's the limit, you tell us, what do you really wanna invest in? Because,
Can I say, and I don't wanna hold this off any longer, but can we maybe put this on the agenda for this month and talk to Dan? I mean, ahead of time and say,
Yeah.
is this gonna be, this is what we're looking
Yeah.
at. This is what we're thinking, even with the IT, we're just looking at this. Is it gonna be too much? And let him kind of tell us where he's at.
Yeah.
And then put this on the agenda for our
I would say
regular
add 30 minutes of this to like our workshop.
Yeah.
Meeting. We can all talk to them at once without,
Well, yeah, whatever, I mean, just
like,
something.
yeah.
I just wanna make sure before we point them out that I don't.
But
think
let's
we-
get a list of what do we need done, so if it's build out website, if it's create, electronic distribution, whatever that is, let's get a kind of a scope so that we can talk to them and go, hey, here's kind of what we were thinking, how much time do you think it would take? And then that way we at least have that
You
to
have the
go off
time
of.
and that being what to do with it. You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah.
With the
And
boards and
if you
everything.
don't, what interests you the most? What are you, because if he doesn't feel fulfilled in what he's doing, it's gonna be a chore and he's gonna be more likely to
If
go
you,
away.
if you can do 3, don't wanna do 4.
Yeah.
What
Which
3 do you wanna do?
Or really you only wanna do
Yeah.
2, just be honest with us, like, you gotta be careful, it's like they do this in churches too, they find somebody who's good at something, next thing you know, they're on every committee.
If I were good at things, I wouldn't have 9,000 things to do at work.
I just feel like we should check with him and like I said, just
Yeah.
putting all this on him and then be like, here it is, and then.
Yep.
he
Yep,
fizzles
no, yeah,
out or
let's-
whatever.
Let's get a little list together, try to get some time to talk to him before our next meeting, and then we can go from there.
And to Lindsay and Alicia's point, this is exactly what Lapel needs. People that have a skill and that are willing to come forward and say, I can give you a little bit of time, I can give you a little bit of energy. Cause I wanna see this thing survive and thrive and,
Yep.
So
So we will table this until our next meeting. Do we need a vote to table?
No.
Okay, good. All right, very good. All right, old business Comcast right-of-way bond. Have we received that and is it sufficient? What do we got?
Looks like it's in the amount of 185.
$185,000.
I have questions about this process in general.
Okay,
So when we looked at this initially, there was an attachment that I cannot, for the love of God, find anywhere. And it listed out, every open cut road crossing, $10,000 bond. That was the one that stuck out in my mind. I can't remember the rest of them were. I forget what it was now, but that was the one that stuck out in my mind because they initially had like 30 potential road crossings that they didn't know were gonna be open cut or not. And I'm looking at this and so I'm wondering, I know our engineer did a report on this particular project and I'm assuming that between the two of them, they have determined which road crossings are most likely to be open cut and they have taken that into account with this bond amount. But I see the same thing on the other,
Everstream?
yes, because those bonds, I think now we're up to 16 or 18. 18, but they have 4 potential they have 4 road crossings in their plan. And I've never heard them say whether or not they were certain those were going to be bored directional drilled or if they were gonna be open cut. And after seeing the open cut mess at the park right now, I'm concerned. Because I'm starting to feel like by the end of the summer, every street in town is gonna have a crumbly strip of something across it. Is that just me?
Yep, Jenny worked on this and is the subject matter expert.
All right.
I'll do my best. Well, first of all, we did some research. This is a new process. This is, I think, our 3rd request we've received, so we're learning as we go. So far, I think we've brought in, Teresa, you'd have to correct me about, it's over $60,000, I think, in fees.
We brought in 80, it's about 75.
75 in fees for it. The project you're referencing with Comcast, we were able to convince Comcast to agree to pay Banning to assist us because it's 60,000
Yeah,
feet. We went through a process where we did our best to come up with a fair bond amount by looking at sections, road crossings. William and I worked on it together. We reached out to other entities to make sure to do a sanity check that we were looking at it correctly. We were very pleased in the end when we came up with the number. We reached out to Comcast and they said, wow, this is acceptable to us because we typically consider this to be 10% of the cost. And you guys are right on the nose. So Comcast was a little different process than this one, which is the Everstream project, which goes from Dollar General to the new bank.
Mhm.
It's not as intense. It is an easier right-of-way to work in. They have agreed to do under road boring.
okay,
The only time they would open the street up is if they hit something or there's some kind of other issue that occurred. The cut you're referencing at the park was done before we had our process.
Mhm.
So that's a little more difficult to remedy. With this one, they are bound pursuant to the new ordinance to restore it to state standards.
okay,
So we will inspect that. If it's not satisfactory, we won't release their bond. And we could also issue a stop work order if we're not pleased with how the progress of the project is going.
okay.
But to your question about how do we calculate it? So one school of thought would be, well, you should do it by block. That's a segment. What we found is if you do it that way, the cost of the bond becomes so great, no one will come do work here.
Mhm.
So I consulted with the town manager of Ingalls, and he suggested you kind of assess risk, think about the area you're in, and generally, if it's a straight shot, you're in the clear if you consider that one segment. So I hope that's helpful.
It is, I feel a lot better about the Comcast one because Banning was involved in that, so I think we had somebody look at the risk, and the other one, yeah, it's smaller, I wanted to make sure that it made sense with the Comcast one, because initially it was like $2,000 or something, and I was
That's
like,
the one you're referring to.
There was a discrepancy. They sent two different bonds
I think so.
that created some confusion, and that's why that wasn't sent initially. I really appreciate that you asked questions about it and helped me. Teamwork makes the dream work, so that was really helpful. And I'll also add, we had a very good pre-construction meeting with Comcast, and then also had a pre-construction meeting with the people who were putting in the Everstream fiber. That's going to become part of our process too, so that we build rapport on the front end,
Mhm.
that we all know how to contact each other, and we set ground rules for being respectful to the town, making sure they don't create damage that is unnecessary, and that they are properly oriented toward things that are good for Lapel, and not just thinking about getting it done quickly at any cost to us. Any other questions?
Since we've received these bonds, do we have to take action on them, or is this just the end of the process that?
A vote to approve is I would say would be required, or just who brought them to you. I don't think that our current right-of-way ordinance addresses who technically can approve. It's something that we
The bond,
should.
so something we need to tweak on that one.
Yeah.
All right. So then we would entertain a motion to accept the Comcast right-of-way bond in the amount of $185,000.
I'll make it.
Second,
Chad,
Yes.
Lindsay,
yes.
Roger,
Yes.
Christie.
Yes.
All right, and then make sure I get this right here. We have the two separate bonds for the Everstream, correct? We have one for 16,000. And one for, am I seeing this correctly, 2,000, correct?
16th, the most recent.
Yeah, that was the second one that they sent. So for a total of $18,000 in bonds. I would entertain a motion to accept the 2 bonds.
So there are 2 bonds and they equal, I mean, it's not 2000, or 16 is not replacing the 2000, correct?
No, correct, it's.
Right.
Okay, I just wanna make sure we're on the same page.
That's my understanding.
Okay.
So I'd entertain a motion to accept the 2 bonds totaling $18,000 for Everstreams right away.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Chad,
Yes.
Lindsay,
Yes.
Roger,
Yes.
Christie.
Yes.
All right, that is the end of the agenda items other than council member comments and concerns. So I would say this is where we discuss, probably a Saturday. When would folks be available to get together, to have a workshop? The workshop of many things.
This month is a horrible month on Saturdays for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm at the
Saturday?
track,
I had to work a Saturday for the first time in 15
I'm at the
years
track,
last week.
I'm at the track the next 3 weekends.
All weekend?
Well, Memorial Day, that Saturday, I'm off, but that's it. That's a holiday weekend. People usually have plans for Memorial Day weekend.
Yep. Let's see here, calendar. Or is there an evening that's not occupied? So an evening that's not a Thursday.
You can't do the first, I think it's the first and third Tuesdays, they meet here at the Lions Club for their meetings.
Well, we could do our workshop at town hall.
In town hall though, can't you?
Yeah, that's a really.
Is it open to the public?
They
Oh,
would
that's
be,
true, it
yeah.
has to be.
But we can sit in a little room and if people show up, we can set some chairs out.
Got a video.
Maybe.
I can see that down there.
It's not ADA compliant.
Oh, not ADA compliant, that is correct.
No. Okay, so Monday, a Monday?
I'm gonna do it Monday after 6. My son has training until 6.
Okay.
18th?
I will make the 18th work if it's.
I can make the
available.
18th work.
I can do it after like 6:15 because my son has training till 6 in Pendleton, so I just gotta give him my period.
So maybe a 6:30? Well,
Yeah.
let Lindsay pull up her, well, that's a lot of stuff on the calendar.
I'll skip my book club for you, I suppose. Yeah.
The 18th, I'm not available.
PCA.
I'm
Oh, you're not available.
I'm not till later because I haven't got a track that day.
Okay.
Okay, so what time?
Sorry, I just,
That's the only other thing that'll be on there.
I mean, they run till 6. I probably wouldn't be here till 8. See, that's too late. for
Oh,
you guys.
yeah, that's,
What'd you say, Tuesdays we can't do, right?
Yeah, but I think it's the,
so
What about Wednesday, the 20th?
Wednesday, the 20th?
I can do that.
okay, let's tentatively do that. I will,
You'll have to
text
advertise it.
them and let them know, or ask them if it's gonna be available.
Okay.
They are getting ready to do the work on the bathrooms, but I don't think it's that quick, so.
And any time after 4 o'clock, for sure, on that day.
6:30?
After 5 for me.
I'm just saying, yeah, so 5.
6:30?
To shoot for, that's fine.
Lindsay's nodding.
Yep.
All right, so tentatively,
20th.
the 20th.
If it's a Monday through Thursday or Friday, you'd be welcome to do it at the lodge, because it just sits usually.
Hangs out there. Right now, we'll stick with this location if they're available, and then we can reach out if we need a backup
We
plan.
need something, ADA.
Winner?
I do have a couple more items, but I don't wanna, if someone else has something, I can go last.
I don't have any.
I don't have anything.
Can we get the right-of-way permit application updated on the website? It's still the old one.
Oh, yeah, we just gotta get it sent to Daniel then.
And I,
And it sounds like we need to make a couple little changes to it anyway. Yes?
Yeah. we got
Yeah, so.
2 thoughts on that.
I have a question regarding the right of way. I just now thought of it. I apologize. If a resident is blocking the right of way by parking on a sidewalk consistently,
Like the part that's through their driveway, or you mean
No,
like?
like it's in front of their house.
Like they're over the sidewalk, into their yard.
Like they're in the yard between the street and the home, and the public sidewalk runs down between, like if this is the yard between the street and the sidewalk, this is the sidewalk and this is their property. If a resident is parking consistently on the sidewalk and the yard,
So they're blocking
I
the
will-
sidewalk.
I
they're
will-
blocking a sidewalk.
Ask our attorney to dig into that, because I'm sure there's 95 kinds of convoluted answer to that.
Yeah, have you made a formal
I
complaint about it?
haven't, I just wanted to educate myself.
The only thing that the town can do at that point is issue a citation for an ordinance violation, and we go through that route. So,
We have forms up there,
yeah, so
or
a
I
formal
can email you
complaint
one if you.
would be how you
can't
start
So
that.
ordinance like code enforcement, or
Yeah.
ordinance like we can't do anything till the 18 people in front of us get out of the way so we can get our ordinances codified kind of citation.
We can still have ordinance violation citations
We have
prior
those
to
now.
codification. Yeah,
Can I get that in writing?
we, Jenny and I have been,
Already now.
yeah, Jenny and I
my
have been working towards getting those.
Sending that
Okay.
out.
Because I know there was a conversation about this at another meeting I was at where someone was parking a heavy truck on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And it damaged the sidewalk, and then it became a question of whose responsibility
For
was it.
fixing it.
And I do see that a lot in the meadows, where, for by where I live, I see that a lot.
Yeah,
And-
and those people did get a letter and they moved it and
Okay.
that other part didn't. have
I just
anything to
wondered,
do
yeah.
with
I can see
it.
But that's more code enforcement ordinance
100%.
versus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
that's what I was trying to figure
And then I had another question that came up in the planning meeting. I know in the past you had mentioned that you were trying to work on anonymous reporting of violations within the town, that was your goal. I just wanted to do a quick check-in with you. Where are you on that? Because I had a resident reach out to me about, because they had watched the video and wanted to know if that's an option yet.
So this is where I had to go back to legal, and we've changed attorneys since that was originally asked. And this is where we're running into. So we run into a sticking point about, it was previously communicated that we have to have a record of the complaint on file. That way, if someone questioned the complaint, they have to be able to contact the complainer. And that's why they couldn't be anonymous.
Yeah,
So clarify that one for us real quick.
yeah, that way, I mean, if push comes to shove, it gets to if you take the complaint process to its logical conclusion, it ends up in court, and they have a right, constitutional right to
Right.
confront their accusers.
Right.
And so the complaint process can't, the way it's set up now in Lapel cannot be anonymous,
Right.
since it's complaint driven.
Right.
We've had some discussions going forward about, once we grow and get some more personnel, some more staff, maybe making it more proactive, and we're going out and checking, but we're not there yet. So as of now, complaints cannot be anonymous.
So I have no issue with the reactive process in this particular case, but I do think that one of the things that has come up in the past, and this is twofold. One, to appease the concerns of the public and also to protect our office staff. There should be some trackable means. So if I call in and I make a code enforcement complaint, there should be some receipt number or something, some issue number that you're giving to me that I can refer to later. So nobody can say that you 86 my complaint because it was your buddy that I was calling in about. And I'm not saying, please understand, I am not saying the girls would do that. But I'm saying the quickest way to shut that whole thought process down is to prevent it in the first place.
Yeah.
Because in the past, questionable things like that years ago may have happened, and we have to overcome that mindset that things aren't fair. They have to trust us. We have to create a process that allows
not
people to
hard.
trust us.
That's not
Once
hard
the
to
codification is done, once that's done, We're standing at the deli counter. We're on number 18, waiting to get called.
It's a long,
Yeah, it's,
That was a wrong business.
once that's done, it will get entered in the police computer and it'll have like a cause number.
Okay,
But at that point, it'll all be tied to the legal code. We get it uploaded, it's connected to the court. The citation would be done just like, oh, I got pulled over for speeding. Here's what happened. Here's the code that it's linked to. Print, here you go.
perfect. So then
that-
there's no, like, we don't have any, nothing's getting done with my complaint. They can go in with their number and get a record of what was done.
Theoretically, yes. But that's part of it has to be codified. Like, they could have a paper ticket right now that's only as good as comes in the clerk treasurer.
Yeah.
But once it's codified, then it can go through a court, through that whole system, it'll have a cause
Has a
number
record
attached
number
to
of
it.
some sort.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, it's the same reason if someone has a complaint about something, we say, you gotta call dispatch,
Right.
even if it's the non-emergency, because then they assign it. They dispatch an officer, and you have the entire track of the call came in at this time, they issued it here, it gets put on the non-priority list as far as, oh, they're out here dealing with an accident. It can wait until after that for somebody to go take care of it.
Yeah,
But
we see
it
that.
gives it the full
We
tracking.
see that a lot when you see like delayed response for theft reported or something, so somebody calls it, well, it's not emergent, but they'll get a report.
Yeah,
as soon as
There's
they-
a record of it, they have to get to it.
So
Have
what
to
are
close
you
it out.
guys doing right now, Teresa? If somebody calls in and says, I wanna complain on a dog running loose.
We
don't
say, Alicia, we recognize you.
I
recognize your voice.
Like, but I know not that because it goes to non-emergency dispatch, but I'm just saying.
That one does.
Right.
Some others don't. We just tell them, we have a form that you can,
So
Fill
they
out.
fill out the form.
if you
keep the
fill out
form
the
on file.
form, if you need us to email it to you, we can email it to you. If you can't drop it off, we have a drop box. We get it the very next morning after you have your complaint. And then it goes to Dennis. If it's, Lisha, why haven't you mowed your yard? I know it's been raining, but it's high. Then he
Right.
goes out and looks at the yard and says, okay, she's at 15 inches. Yeah, we need to send her a letter.
Okay,
And then it starts the process. And then we have Evan designed a program. And it actually, you put their name, the date you sent the letter, and then it starts the date then.
Okay.
So they have,
It
I believe
follows
it's
it through.
15 days to respond. If it's something that needs to go, it's gonna take longer or something, then they have the right to come, I believe they have to go to the BZA. If they,
Mhm.
is
They
where
can-
it goes.
Yeah, they can
If-
choose to do that. or
they
it
can
go
choose to
the-
go the
judge.
BZA or the judge, but then then their time stops for that period of time
Right.
until they,
Right, so there's a
Yeah.
decision.
yeah, but it actually, it tallies the amount, it does everything.
Okay.
Big red letters when it's time to go to court,
Yeah.
so, yep.
Can I just say it to the public, if anyone's watching, in the interest of assuming good intent, go to your neighbor first and ask,
Yeah.
Please.
do they need help having their yard mowed?
Yeah,
Maybe they're injured, maybe they have a life event, maybe their mower broke, you know?
be a good neighbor, like Mr. Rogers
human.
said.
That's right.
Mow it for them crooked, no, I'm just kidding. My husband was so mad.
Like a fish lived through there. Anything else?
One last thing, it's been 3 months, maybe we need to have someone, one of the executives, reach out to Councilman Shuck and make sure that he's okay. I'm assuming the reason that he is not coming to meetings is because something's wrong and he's still being paid. So it seems like if something's wrong, we certainly want to make sure the public's aware that he has a genuine reason for not coming. And if not, we need to find out if his intent is to resign.
Unfortunately, in the state of Indiana, unless there is a disqualifying, move, death,
Oh, I get he's entitled to. it, so-
yes, he by law does not have to come to another meeting, the rest of his term.
It doesn't mean we
Unfortunately.
shouldn't ask him
Yeah.
if there's something we can do to reconcile the situation to bring him back to service.
Yep.
That's all I'm
Disagree.
saying. Again, assuming good intent.
Yes. All right. Anything else? Okay, at this time, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. All right.
Can I just ask a question? I would love to just have a clarifying,